Hello, what's up guys? I'm Kyle from KGR, and today we're taking a look at Ochaco Uraraka from My Hero Academia. This is from the Figma line, so this is not McFarlane, this is not some other company. Like, this is Figma, probably some of the best looking My Hero Academia figures so far, but also some of the most expensive figures. I've done reviews on Midoriya and Bakugo, and I thought Bakugo was probably like the worst bang for your buck. I didn't think he came with enough. I don't think it was worth the money, but I was super excited for Uraraka because I thought she was worth the money because of what all she came with, and plus overall she's just a cute character. I also have Todoroki and Kirishima, and I'll be doing reviews on those soon enough, but I'll explain later in the video why I haven't done those reviews yet. But coming in at about like $70 or so before shipping, is this one worth the money as well? Or is it $80? I don't know. It's an expensive figure. I know after shipping I paid probably a little over $100, if not close to $100. It's expensive, but is it worth it? Yeah, kinda. Let's take it out of the box and take a closer look. And here she is, the queen of gravity herself, or Uraraka, or Ochaco, or uravity, whatever you want to call her. Here she is, and she's absolutely adorable. But yeah, out of the whole Figma line, this is like the one I was the most excited for because I like immediately thought of so many cute poses that I could do, which you'll see at the end of the video, by the way, that I could do with this figure, and some photographic like opportunities I could do. I haven't done those yet, but I'm so excited to try it. But the main thing I love about this figure so much is the amount of detail they put into it. Like, these Figmas, they're not cheap. They're really expensive figures. But like, the main thing that caught my eye was like this glossy finish. This is the first time I've ever seen this on a Figma, but it's not the first time they've done it. They've done it on the Hatsune Miku figures as well. But this is the first figure that I owned that did this, and I could actually see it firsthand, and it's perfect. They did an amazing job on this. It was a good call. It makes it really convincing that it's a rubber suit. Like, it captures more detail on the figure than what they do in the show, you know? And it even like spreads out to the joints as well, so like nothing like really breaks the mold or makes it look out of place. There are some slight imperfections like on the lining. Like, it's only slight, so it's not going to matter all that much. It's just nitpicking, to be honest. It is an amazing figure. I don't think it's the best Figma from My Hero Academia, but it's definitely like a close second place. And I'll let you know what the best figure is when I review that figure. The waist joint right here is floaty, so you can do hopefully as much posing as you want with it without it resisting any articulation. And the legs are really dense, so it ends up making it like a combination of both bottom and top heavy. Like here, if you lean it back too much without preparing it, it will fall over. But if you do like be careful with it and then lean her back and let her go, the boots do keep her weight. But as soon as it wobbles, it's out. It's dead. And now like the main thing I was excited for this figure, after seeing a review from the Frush when he reviewed the McFarlane Uraraka, talk about like how like the boots actually keep her up really well, that had me super excited for this. And again, it works really well. And just like the McFarlane figure, this does not have any ankle joints, so everything is just like make sure the boots support it, and that's about it. And like, it can hold its poses really well. And I'm really happy they didn't do any ankle joints, to be honest, because it just makes the sculpt look that clean, and it still holds its weight. It still supports itself just fine. But after looking at it all around, yeah, this is definitely like one of my favorite Figmas. This is probably one of the best looking My Hero Figmas by far. Todoroki also looks nice, but I don't know. I like Uraraka more. I was just more excited for this figure. I also forgot to mention this. One of my favorite things about this figure is not only the fact that like, it looks nice, the glossy finish, the boots keeping its weight, but there's something that's a good attention to detail. Is here, as you can tell, this is like off angle. Here, this thing actually articulates, because while you're handling this figure, it's supposed to like go off the cuff, which they do well, but here when you're adjusting the hands or moving anything, you're gonna bump into those a lot, and they made it articulated so when you do bump into them, it doesn't snap off, which honestly was a really good call. I'm so happy they did that because I don't want to snap this thing. When it comes to articulation, it's your standard Figma affair, but if you never played with a Figma before, it is your first Figma that you're looking at, I'll give you a quick rundown. Like I said earlier, there is no ankle joints, so there's no ankles to really go over. But when it comes to the rest of this sculpt from head to toe, we got a rotating neck, so you can do whatever you want with that. It's really nice. I think it's a double ball hinge. I can't remember exactly how this one works. But you have complete freedom with the head. It's so nice. Then we got a double ball peg on the shoulders, so you can take them wherever you want. You got slight movement in the shoulder right here. Then there's a swivel right up in there, so you can rotate the shoulder as much as you need to. Elbow bend, well, that's pretty much what you get out of Figmas most of the time, so I'm happy that it actually turned out well, because like with Bakugo and Midoriya, you only got a 90-degree bend mostly. I think Midoriya only got 90 degrees, I can't remember, but you didn't get a lot. I don't think you get any movement in the cuff up here, so I wouldn't mess with that, but you do get some movement in the wrist. So it's on a ball hinge, so you can move it side to side like that, and then you can also rotate it, so you can do whatever you need to with that wrist. On the upper torso, you can move that all around. On the lower waist, you can do whatever you need to with that as well. And like I said earlier, this is a floating piece, so the legs aren't too resisted. You can go about forward that much. You can go back about that much. Then you can almost do a complete split, actually. Like, you got a lot of range to do with this figure. It's really awesome. And then the knee bend. Ooh, that's actually really impressive, I'm not gonna lie. So definitely a lot of movement that you can do with this figure. I wish the shoulders can come out a little bit more. Actually, no, I take that back. You get good shoulder movement. Like, this is a good figure. This is excellent articulation. When it came to the Figmas of My Hero Academia, I was always disappointed in the accessories, but Uraraka definitely has the best accessories for the buck. Let's start off with faces. First face, we got a standard smile face. A smiling open mouth with her eyes closed, which is honestly my favorite face. It is the cutest thing. It's so great. And we also get a shouting face, which this is the face that I use mostly to display my figure on my shelf. Now when it comes to the hands, we have the standard fists. We got her open hands, some gripping hands, and one thumbs up. And we also get a few more things, which honestly made me really pull the trigger on this. Like, this is like honestly worth the money because of these items. We also have a whole replacement head that has her helmet on it. And the way to put that on is really easy. You take this guard off, you grab it by the ears or so, and then just pull that off. And then you have a spot for one of her faces. We're going to be doing the shouting face in here. Simple plug-in. And then you can put her guard back on. And then taking off the head's real easy. Just grab her by her stomach, or if you want to be perv, you gotta grab her by her chest and pull her head off. It's real easy. And then slide it back on, and there you go. Now she has her helmet on. And she also comes with a set of rocks, and it has a ball peg in there, so it also has its own little display stand that you can attach to the regular Figma stand, so it makes it look like she's actually throwing them. Now here is the standard stand that you get with a Figma. Every Figma comes with one of these. If you have any issues trying to get the peg into her back hole over here, what I recommend doing is getting a blow dryer and blowing on the hole, and do that for about 10 to 20 seconds or so, probably 20 seconds, and then take the stand and then just force it into her back. And then the plastic should be heated enough that it's ready to expand, and it should be able to squeeze in there just fine. You don't have to get the whole thing in there, like halfway is fine. As long as it keeps her up, she'll be fine. While I'm at it, I'm actually going to take off these hands and put on the open hand, so it looks like she's actually going to be throwing the rocks. Okay, now we have our poses ready. But I did want to mention something. I forgot to mention this in the beginning. Here in the show, Uraraka has like little circles on her fingertips. And on the figure, like, there's little bubbles there, but they're really hard to see, to be honest. If you get a magnifying glass or something, or get a really up-close shot, you might be able to see it, but for the most part, they're not very visible on the figure. I mean, they tried, so I appreciate it, but unfortunately, when it comes to putting it onto a figure, it just doesn't really stick out all that much unless they, like, make it pink or something, you know? But anyway, there are 3 pieces that come with the stand for the rock to make it look like it's floating. We have this little U piece right here that's gonna mainly cup onto the stand. You can put that anywhere on the stand that you want. I recommend either doing it close to the base right here or close to the figure itself. So I always try to put it right there. Then we have this other L-shaped looking one. So this can go right in here, or you can even do it the other way. Yeah, this end seems to be longer than this end, so I would say, like, where like it really starts to do the bend, I'd say do that closer to the base. And then we got this little bend right here, and one end has a ball on it. This one will plug into the rock. Now, the little trick I told you about heating it up and then putting it in, I had to do this for this rock. So if it's not fitting in, don't force it in. Again, do the blow dryer trick, and then eventually it'll fix itself. Then you can plug that in however way you want. But when they're in here, it is really tight. So if you're going to adjust it, be very careful. But after readjusting the hands or so, there you go. There's your display of her trying to throw some rocks. And besides all that, they also come with extra stuff. Like, they always come with a Figma bag, so you can put the accessories in there if you don't want to put them back in the box. I personally put them back in the box so like they don't get scratched up in the bag, as well as just keeping things more organized for me, to be honest. Now, typically every Figma always comes with a replacement wrist piece. I don't think Uraraka did. I can't remember. Actually, we can check that with a little guide manual thing in here. It shows it in Japanese and English, but yeah, she does come with a replacement wrist right here. So we always get one of these with every Figma figure that you get recently. But this time they also added an extra hair piece, which this is the exact same hair piece as what you get from the normal head. It's just, God forbid, you lose it for some reason, or it just doesn't fit on the same, or something like that. You have another one. Now, this one that they added is honestly a godsend. Like, this is one of my favorite things that they included, and that is an extra elbow peg. Now, with my Todoroki and my Kirishima, both of my Figma joints on those. For Todoroki, it was the ankle, and then for Kirishima, it was like one of his cape pieces. The Figma joints broke. I don't know why they were so delicate, but they did. It was the first time any of those joints snapped on me, and I've been collecting Figmas ever since the Skyward Sword one came out. So I've been probably collecting since like 2013 or so. I've been collecting for like 7 years, and this is the first time this happened. And it happened with 2 figures in a row. I'm getting replacement parts real soon. Good Smile is going to send me a whole nother arm for Todoroki, but because of Corona time, it's not happening anytime soon. So as of right now, I just ordered some replacement joints online. I extracted the joints out of the figures. I just got to get the new ones and just pop them in, and I should be good. But because they're coming from China, it's going to take me a long time for me to get those, so that's why you're going to wait a while for the Todoroki and Kirishima reviews. But they included one for Uraraka right here because her arms are actually a lot tinier compared to other Figmas, so getting a replacement joint would be a little bit more difficult. So the fact that they included one means so much. I'm so happy they did that. Oh yeah, and the hands go in a little tree like this. And now, let's compare her to some of the other figures in the line. Since my Todoroki and Kirishima are technically broken, I'm not going to show those on screen right now because I don't want you to see what sadly happened. But I have done reviews on Midoriya as well as Bakugo, so if you haven't seen those, you can just explore my channel. You can do that. I just realized how short Uraraka was, so you can see how well it scales to them. It looks absolutely fantastic. And suppose you're not doing the Figma Midoriya for some reason, and you end up doing the amazing Yamaguchi one, this is how that looks compared to the rest of the line then. Let me see if I can squeeze the Figma in there somehow. Let me try to get him to stand up a little bit straighter. So like you can see, like they still like stay mostly to scale with each other, at least when it comes to the 2 Midoriyas. Actually, no, you can't really see because kind of out of frame. Hold on, let me do some adjustments. There we go, it looks a little bit better. But yeah, as you can tell, like they scale really well with each other. The amazing Yamaguchi is a little bit taller, but it still looks fantastic, especially in action poses. So that's a comparison with them. Unfortunately, I have no one really else to compare it to. I don't have the McFarlane figures. I don't have the Nendoroids or anything. I don't have anything else in My Hero Academia. This is all I got. So overall, what are my thoughts on this figure? This is definitely what I expected out of My Hero Academia Figma. This is definitely worth the money. It's the best bang for your buck. It comes with the right amount of accessories that I wanted out of a Figma. And normally I'd compare these to the Nendoroids and say, oh, the Nendoroids are a better option. But after looking at it, the Figma is honestly a lot better than the Nendoroid. And that's the first time I could really say that out of the My Hero Academia line. Like, this really exceeded my expectations. This is what I wanted out of the figure, and it's what I paid for. This is what I'm really happy with. With that said, it is still $100, like after shipping and stuff, so it is still expensive. But if you love Uraraka, you will not be disappointed. This is definitely the best looking Uraraka that we're gonna get, and I think it's worth the money. You can go with the McFarlane if you want, but it's really ugly. You can get a statue and pay about like $35 to $50 or so. You can go with McFarlane and spend 20 bucks, but I'm not gonna lie, it's a very ugly figure. You can get a statue for about 35 to 50 or so, and it looks fantastic. But if you want an action figure that looks fantastic, this is definitely worth the money. I say save up and go for it, because you won't be disappointed. And if you want to pick one up, I will have links in the description if you want to buy one. If you'd rather go the American route, you can go to Big Bad Toy Store. But if you don't mind importing from Japan and paying a little bit, I don't know how much money you're going to save compared to Big Bad Toy Store, but those are options as well. And that is my review. This is the first time from My Hero Academia Figmas that I can say it's definitely worth the money. It's definitely worth picking up. As much as I love My Hero Academia, the other ones I did not like when it came to the bang for the buck. They're cool figures, but they weren't worth the money. This one is the first one I can say that it is. And if you like the pictures that you see right now, I also post a lot more pictures like this on Instagram with other action figures, including more My Hero Academia. And if you're new and you like what you saw, you know what to do. In the description, there's my other socials outside of Instagram. I also have Twitter and Snapchat if you want to follow me on there as well. And Snapchat is just, if you really want to say hi to me, you want to talk to me, I'm open. Go ahead and talk to me. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments, are you picking this figure up? What do you think of this figure if you already have it? And again, thank you guys for watching. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you on the next one. So peace.